Hello, hello. Hanging out in my living room. I have 3 animals pretty much on top of me, but thank you for joining me and hanging out. If you're watching this on YouTube, like the video if something resonates with you, or leave a comment if you have any questions. But I appreciate you guys watching these replays. Pretty cool. Just letting everybody join in. I got asked the other day, like, these glasses that they look cool. They're blue light glasses. If you guys don't have blue light glasses, get them. Especially if you spend a lot of time. There's one. Especially if you spend a lot of time on your phone. Like, I am on my phone constantly, editing videos, recording videos. I've been making the courses. So it's been nonstop on my phone, and my eyes have been bothering me so much. So since getting the blue light glasses, and I think for like 2 pairs it was like $20. They're super cheap. But yeah, so once I got the blue light glasses, game changer. It has helped me so much. So definitely recommend getting the blue light glasses if you guys haven't already. So that's what I'm wearing for when you guys ask. And you can get them like right on Amazon or whatever. But all right, everybody's joining in. I'm just letting everyone join in. Nobody missed anything. We just hopped on. So get your questions ready. We're gonna do a little bit of Q&A about manifestation, about awareness, like whatever it is. If it's your specific person that you're trying to get back, and you just feel like you're in a rut, you're feeling stuck, feeling like nothing is moving, nothing is changing, I got the answers for you. And it's not going to be probably what you heard before of, just work on your self-concept. Oh, you just got to wait a little bit longer. Like, stop checking. It's not going to be that kind of bullshit. But hello as everybody joins. You're all right, Dexter. And I do apologize if my dogs bark, because I am in my living room, so it's a little bit more noisy if my neighbors are outside, coming home from work, slamming doors and things like that in their car. So I do apologize. But yeah, how's everybody doing? It's Thursday night. We all getting ready for Halloween. It's spooky season. It's almost Halloween time. You guys got costumes? Are you doing parties? What's everyone doing for Halloween? I don't do anything. I'm not I don't really care about Halloween. So like, I didn't even decorate this year. Usually I decorate, but I'm like, I don't want to put my energy into it. It takes a lot to freaking set everything up, and then for it to last a month or two, and then to tear it all down. It's just not for me. But yeah, so all right, nobody's asked any questions yet. I'm gonna just dive into some topics. So I made a couple of videos. I haven't posted them yet, but I made a couple of videos talking about how life is meaningless. And that, to some people, sounds super depressing. Like, Lane, what do you mean life is meaningless? Like, life is so beautiful, or life is this or that, or whatever. But it's meaningless because we get to decide. We have the power to choose what we have, like, what we give meaning to. So, And actually, I've been reading a lot about, like, the Bible and Jesus and his actual, like, what he was actually trying to teach us, which was just enlightenment, which is just awareness that the power is within us, that the kingdom of heaven is within us and not outside of us. And even Jesus talked heavily about this, that it's pretty much meaningless. You get to choose the meaning that you give to anything in your life. So if your specific person isn't texting you, You can assign the meaning based off of your previous experiences or what you've seen on TikTok of what that means. You can assign the meaning, oh, they're being an avoidant. Oh, they got too close. Or maybe I'm being too clingy. Maybe, I was texting them too much. Maybe they're about to ghost me, waiting for the other shoe to drop because they did that before. You assign the meanings to actions of other people, right? And by doing that, because you're assigning that meaning, that is literally what you are experiencing. Because your life, all the physical things that you are experiencing is a reflection. It's just a mirror of your internal state. It's what you become aware of. So if you give something meaning, you are aware of that meaning, which is then going to be reflected back to you. Now, I'm not saying like you have to watch your thoughts or like try to flip them or like be scared of your thoughts. That's not it at all. It's the fact that when you assign meaning to something and you believe that meaning, you are identifying with that. You're identifying with a role of a character. You're identifying with the character that is doubting. You're identifying with the character that is a victim. You're identifying with the character that needs to fix something. I talk about all this in my courses that I just launched. But the reason why we give meanings to things, even though there is no meaning to anything, we assign those meanings, is because we want to identify with something. That ego within us wants to identify because that's how it stays alive. So why I preach awareness and being present is because you're no longer giving meaning to anything. You're neutral. That doesn't mean that you won't have like feeling. That people get scared when I say like you're feeling like you'll be in the state of neutrality. They think, oh, I'm just not going to feel anything, not going to give anything meaning. Well, yeah, you're not going to give anything meaning, but you will feel things. Obviously, you're going to still feel love or happiness or sadness or whatever, emotions come up. That's part of the human experience. So don't get caught up on like the state of neutrality means you're going to be neutral about everything. But your perception is what you are experiencing will be neutral. You're no longer going to be reactive. Because when we assign meaning to things and we identify with that meaning, we're reacting. So-and-so didn't text us at a certain time when usually they do. That right there is a reaction from an identity that is wounded, an identity that is doubting, an identity that doesn't get what they want. So we have to be really observant about what we are assigning meaning to, because we have that power. We also take in meanings from other people, like, society. We take on the meanings of what society believes a healthy relationship should look like between a man and a woman. We take on beliefs of what our parents think a relationship should look like, or, anything in life. I'm just using relationship as an example because that's pretty much what a lot of people come to me for. But like we assign meaning to everything. And Eckhart Tolle actually talks about this. And he's like, we want to go back to like when we had the innocence of a child. And he's like, think about when a leaf is on the ground, a child doesn't know anything about that leaf. And as the parent, you teach the child that, oh, this is a leaf. They pick it up. You tell them, oh, that's a leaf. When instead, we need to look at it and really break it down for what it actually is. A leaf is a label, right? It's just a label that us as humans assign to things, but we're not actually seeing it for what it is. So if a little kid picks up a leaf, and I'm telling you, like, this is how we need to start looking at life and not just assign a meaning to something. Just look at it, observe it, be aware of it, but don't identify with it. So if a little kid picks up a leaf and you tell that little kid, like, look at the veins on that leaf. Look at the color of that leaf. Look at the shape and the size of that leaf. Look at how the edges of that leaf is curled up, or the texture of that leaf. Now you're observing all of these different things instead of just assigning a label or a meaning to something. And that's how we need to start perceiving things in our reality, is just observe it. Don't assign a meaning that this person is doing that to me. No, it's that person is doing that from me. So I'm just going to observe it. I'm going to observe their behavior and not attach myself to it or attach my identity to it. I'm going to sit with it and allow it to be there. No judgment. Just being present. I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to focus on, okay, maybe it triggered feelings within me. And I'm going to feel those feelings. Maybe it triggered different thoughts within me and different insecurities and fears that come from that person's behavior. It's alive within you. That's why it's even triggering you. That's why they're even doing it. So anything that happens in your reality that you don't like is just a reflection to show you, hey, this is still alive within you. We don't need to judge it. We don't need to give meaning to it. We don't need to identify with it. We need to just let it go. We need to see it for what it is. It's kind of like an alarm system saying, hey, I'm here. I'm still alive within you. Want to let me go? You're more than welcome to. Or you can hold on to me and continue to identify and then bitch and complain why I'm still here. You know? So that's my rant. Life is meaningless. And I'm probably going to make a full video about this on my YouTube channel if you haven't followed me over there. But that will be coming soon. I haven't even recorded it yet. But I really want to hit this home. Because we are, as humans, we're designed to assign meaning to everything. We have that ego, right? We have different characters that we embody, and they want to stay alive. And they can't stay alive when you're just present, when you're just observing, when you're just looking at what is in front of you with no labels, no judgments, no emotional charge behind it, just letting it all be. That's the state of being. Neville Goddard talks about shift your state of being. And a lot of people think, and even I did, I'm not going to lie, even I did, thought that it's shift your state of being by telling a new story. You don't even have to tell a new story. You can just be. That's it. We're just being who we always were, which is awareness. Just being. We don't need to tell a new story. We don't need to do techniques. You can if you want to. Bashar says that, those are permission slips. You can. If it feels good, but it's not a requirement to get what you want. You just have to be. Just be the being. Just be awareness. Without telling any, stories about why this isn't working or assigning any meaning to what somebody is or isn't doing or how you still don't have what you want or this amount of time has passed by. That's all meaning. That is all story. That's coming from conditioning, that's coming from societal beliefs, that's coming from the experiences that you've had and the fears and the insecurities. That's where that's all coming from. Let me see if there's any questions. I just went on a rant, guys, It happens sometimes. Let's see here. Hi, my favorite coach on TikTok. Well, hello. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. So you want to reverse all your disciplinary actions without going into an appeal. So with anything like that, again, we have to just allow what is in front of you to be in front of you. That's okay. Acceptance. And acceptance doesn't mean that you're going to stay in that state. If anything, it's going to move the reflection along. Because when we resist something, we're actually holding on to it. It's going to stay right in place. As soon as we accept it, like, okay, cool, I'm already experiencing it. There's nothing more to fear. It's already right here. Then you're letting go, and then it can move. Because everything's always meant to just flow and pass by. Us as humans, though, identify with it and grab onto it, and then wonder why we're stuck in the same day, reliving the same day, the same circumstances, dating different people, but it's always the same shit that we experience in relationships. It's because we're holding on to things that we're always meant to just flow through. Okay? So with anything like that, let the story be there and continue to return to the present moment. Anytime any emotions come up, allow them to come up. Anytime anything's going on in your life, like the 3D experience, people are talking to you about, an appeal or what you should or shouldn't do. Do what you have to do in the 3D, but that doesn't mean that you can't be present while you're doing it. That doesn't mean that you have to sit there and react every time that something's going on. Instead, we have to take our awareness back to the present moment instead of reacting. He asked for a divorce last night. Yes, you can manifest, but we don't need to worry about manifesting anything faster. When we're in that state of being and looking at it like, I need to manifest this faster, like what is going on? I can't go through a divorce, and you're in that panicked, worried state, and you're resisting it by focusing on, but this needs to speed up. This can't happen. That's, again, resisting. You're holding that state into place. Okay? So it's not about anything needs to move any faster, because time isn't real. So there is no faster, there is no slower. It's you continue to put your attention and awareness and buy into the feelings and thoughts and circumstances that are going on right now. And that's why it continues to perpetuate or even get worse. It's because you're still identifying with all of it when you're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, you're not your circumstances. It's all just reflecting back to you your inner state. So that's why I teach going into the present moment. Anytime you have any situations, like if your partner's coming to you and saying, like, I can't wait for this divorce, or whatever it is that they're saying, or that, filing the paperwork or talking to the lawyers or whatever, we need to acknowledge, okay, cool, that's fine that is there. I don't like it. This is not what I prefer. Obviously I'm upset with it. That makes me sad. Allow all of that to be there and take your awareness and place it on the present moment and stop identifying with what is there. Right? Put it on your breath, put it on your body, put it on your surroundings, like the sounds, the whatever textures there are, like use your senses and put it on the surroundings of what you are doing in that moment. And anytime you have a thought about the divorce or feeling any type of way about the divorce or a circumstance comes up, again, take that attention off of it, stop identifying with it. And the way you do that is by being present. Allowing it all to be there, not needing to fix anything, not needing to change anything, because you're not fixing or changing that person. You're not fixing or changing that reality. You're allowing that reality to exist because it's perfect as it is, even though it's not what you prefer. And that's why we have the power as consciousness, as awareness, to choose again, to be in a different reality, to have a different unfolding happen. So we don't need to fix or change anything that's going on currently. We need to be someone new. And all we need to be is who we truly are. Awareness. Be present. Stop assigning meaning to things. Yeah, but things happen a lot faster when you stop trying to get them to happen faster. Alrighty. I missed a whole bunch, guys. I was at the top and then it just jumped. So let me see if I can go back. I'm sorry if I missed your comment. I'm trying to see if I can get back to where I was. What does it mean when I much rather be in my 4D than in my 3D? For one, right there, you're looking at things as separate from you. If you'd rather be in your 4D, that's because from my understanding of like 4D, 3D, all of that stuff, you're just honing in more on who you truly are, right? Awareness is all the dimensions. It's the space within everything. It holds space for everything. So your awareness is the 4D, the 5D, the 6D, the 3D, the 2D. It's all of it. It's holding space for everything. So it makes sense why you would prefer to be in the 4D, and I'm assuming you're detaching from the 3D. You're now seeing it as this is not who I am. That's why I don't need to even, I don't want to say participate in the 3D, but again, I'm not assigning meaning to anything in the 3D. You've been embodying your SP's wife, like that state. And then he told you the other day, we can stop talking. Okay, that's fine. Feel whatever feelings come up with that. Allow the 3D to do whatever the 3D needs to do. Is that your end goal? Is that SP's wife? No. So if that's not the reflection you want, don't react to it. Allow it to be there, and it will move through. Take your awareness off of it if that's not what you want, and just place it on the present moment. And if you're embodying SP's wife, wouldn't like think about that state. That state on a whole would be in neutrality, right? Would be present, would be just enjoying your life regardless. Again, we're not people get caught up in, I'm manifesting an outcome here. The only way that I can feel loved is if that person is in my face telling me that they love me, or holding me, or touching me, or texting me all the time. That's not what we're doing here, because there's only so long of a period that's good enough for your ego. And then at some point, the fear, the insecurity, waiting for the other shoe to drop, the abandonment that we're holding on to, and all of those stories starts to creep up. And it doesn't matter if that person's in front of you. You will find all the reasons mentally as to why this person doesn't want to be with you. And then they end up reflecting that back to you. So that's why what I teach is, regardless of if they are with you, talking to you, not with you, you have to be in the state of love itself. That way, it's no longer dependent on if they're with you or not with you, right? You're no longer attached to, the only way that I can feel worthy or good enough or feel loved or feel like I'm SP's wife is if they're in front of me. I know SP's wife, like the label, it's a label, right? To have to be able to call yourself somebody's wife, that's a label. But you can embody that the same way that as if you just got married. Embodying it isn't just I'm telling a new story, I'm married, we're feeling, I'm cooking him dinner, and I'm thinking about how I'd be cooking him dinner, or doing this with that, or have the ring on my finger. The actual state of someone's wife, like think about it, if you've been married for 20, 30 years, what's that state look like? Neutrality, knowing, comfortability, satisfaction. That's what would come to my mind, if I've been married to someone for a prolonged amount of time. Not excitement, not constantly thinking about that person and what it is that a lot of people do when they're trying to manifest and think that they're embodying a state. So again, that's why I preach going into presence. That is the ultimate state, because that is who you truly are. That's where you will feel the love. You won't feel any attachment or need for another person. It will be more of a preference, a want, right? Like a choice, not even a want. That's not the correct word either. But like again, a choice. Out of all the people in the world, I'm choosing you, because I have that power. I don't need you. And when we're getting into this manifestation game, it feels like we need that person. They are the end all be all. I get it. Been there. Experienced that. But I've also been on the other side of it, to where you no longer need somebody. You're detached from that, because you are whole within yourself. You're back home with who you truly are. And then obviously that's when people come back, because you're no longer in need of them. There's no longer that separation, because you are love. You are worthiness. You are wholeness. You're holding space for all of those things. And then that's when your person can reflect that back to you. You're no longer trying to convince yourself that you're these things. You just are it in awareness, in presence. I'm affirming he's my man. So I'm not an affirmation person. Affirmations are just new thoughts. So realistically, would you be even really thinking that if you've been with that person in a happy, healthy, committed relationship for like 5 years? Would you even be thinking? You might have a passing thought here or there, or like be telling someone like, yeah, that's my man. But is it going to be a constant thought if you're affirming it like how you are now? I'm sure you're affirming it multiple times throughout the day. No. When you're with someone, it's a knowing. I don't affirm that I have brown hair. It just, I know it. It's a knowing. It's a consistent part of my day. So it's the same with a person. If they are a consistent part of your day, you aren't going to be affirming these things. Again, affirmations are just new thoughts. But like I'm saying, we are not our thoughts. We are the awareness that holds space for these thoughts. Okay? So we don't need to affirm a new story. We don't even need to tell a new story. And I thought for a long time you did. I was heavily on reprogram. You got to reprogram the subconscious beliefs. Like, fuck, I'm a hypnotist, guys. Like, that's literally my fucking career. But I've learned that's a permission slip. You're more than welcome to do hypnosis. It can be helpful for you, but it's not something you have to do. You don't have to do new techniques. You don't have to tell new stories. All that you have to do is wake up and remember who you are. Awareness. All you have to do to make this the most effortless process, to where it's not even a process anymore, it's just natural, is be present. Because the only thing holding you back from having the life of your dreams or having that person is your identification with the lack of it. The identification with the stories that are going on in your mind, the thoughts, the identification with your thoughts, your feelings, your circumstances, your previous experiences, your identification with what this person says or doesn't say, what this person did to you, how they hurt you, how they're just not exactly what you want yet. You have to recreate them. The identification with, I'm a manifester. I'm trying to manifest them. If you drop all of those stories and let everything just be, and you just be, and you're just present, you'll find that life becomes a lot more peaceful. Your mind becomes more peaceful. You have less chaotic things happening, less circumstances coming up. And obviously, in that state of harmony, you experience more harmonious things. So the relationship just unfolds naturally. Because you're not trying to change anything. You're letting it all be. Which is all that you are. You're just being. Right? Hopefully this is clicking and making sense. It jumped again, guys, so I'm sorry if I missed your comments. Let me try to go back up to where I was. How to be in the state of love. So to be in the state of love itself is just being present. It's not a thing like I have to affirm I am loved, or I am love. I'm this, I'm that. We don't have to do that. All we have to do is be present, and that love will just come out of you, because awareness is all things. You don't have to try to be love. You already are love. The only reason why you don't think that you are love, or you feel like there's something that you have to reach towards or aim towards or become, or I can feel it once I'm enlightened. Once I reach a certain point, then I can finally feel like I am that. It's none of those things. You already are it. The only reason why you don't think so is because, for one, you're buying into duality. You're buying into like the separation of things. You're buying into different stories and identifications. You're buying into the character that, different roles that we play. You're buying into all of that. And all we have to do is, when we have these thoughts and stuff coming up in our inner world, it's taking our awareness off of it and going back home to who we are, which is the present moment. When you're present, you're just focusing on your breath. That means you're no longer listening to the mind chatter. You're just letting it all be there. When you're present and you're focusing on, your hands, your body part, or your heart, and you just have your awareness there, you're no longer identifying with the different feelings that are coming up. They're just allowed to be there. And then that's when you'll feel this expansion within yourself. Like I talked about it maybe last week. Like, for days, and I still feel it, but it's not as vast as it was last week. For days, I just felt so much love and connection for everything and with everything for no reason. I have just been super present. I was just in the state of presence, and I wasn't trying to. It's just, as you practice, it just becomes natural and like your autopilot state. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't have different thoughts that will like yank at you and be like, hey, I'm here. Like, you want to buy into me? And again, you have to be really good at just observing, and even that becomes easier. But again, that state of love will just come and be expressed from you because it is who you are. Okay? The only reason why you feel like you aren't in that state of love itself is because you have all of these conditions around it, all of these stories and identifications around why you aren't right now. And you see it as something separate from you or something that you're working towards. So yeah, practice presence. And if you really want to, guys, I have a free resource. It's called it's a mini course. It's entirely free. It's called Awareness Reset. And if you guys haven't gotten that yet, that is a good foundation to everything that I'm talking about here. And then I have other mini courses that I came out with 4 out of the 5. I'll probably get the 5th one out tomorrow, or I'll release on my website if you want to go check that out. Each one of them is under $35. And like I said, the one is entirely free. It's the foundation to everything that I talk about. And it will help you really just expand in your consciousness and finally reach a point where you don't have to do techniques anymore, where you have no desire to even do techniques. And if you do, it will be more from a place of it's just happening naturally. Like, visuals still come to me naturally. Different, like, new thoughts or stories come to me naturally. It's not something I'm trying to do. It's just my mind is playing in imagination, and I allow it, right? But it's not, I'm sitting down trying to do sats or any of that crap. Again, it can work, but that's an effort-based way of manifestation. And we don't have to effort. Because everything, I'm sure you've heard a lot of teachers say, everything already exists, right? Creation is finished. It is. There's nothing to work towards. You don't have to try to embody a new state. You have to stop just embodying in general, pretty much. You have to stop telling the stories of what you don't want. And that doesn't mean you have to tell new stories. You just have to be in neutrality. You just have to be in awareness itself, where everything exists. I know that part might sound complicated, but when you're present, again, you're not identifying with any of it. That's the issue that we have, is identifying with the old stories, identifying with the characters, identifying with the circumstances, trying to change them and fix them, which is more identification. Every time your mind tells you, well, all I got to do is this technique, and all I got to do is reprogram, or I got to shift my self-concept, and I got to recreate myself, or recreate my person. That is all mind stuff, and we are going beyond the mind, because the mind is the one that created this shit to begin with. Right? Anything to do with the mind is some sort of identification. And to get out of all the mind stuff, all we do is go into presence. Breath, body, surroundings. You do one or all of those things to really just hone in. I usually just focus on my breath. And it's not like a long meditative, like I'll do it all throughout the day. Anytime any thought like grabs my attention, like my mind is pretty freaking quiet now. But if there is a thought that grabs my attention, I look at it, I observe it, like, I wonder where the hell you came from. And then return to my breath. I don't identify with it. I don't go down the rabbit hole with it. I just let it be there, because I'm not my thought. I'm the observer. I'm the space that thought even exists in. Awareness. Right? Thank you for all the gifts, guys. I see that you guys are doing the gifts. I appreciate that. No, you don't need to affirm to bring anything into the 3D. Did you think about it like this? When you manifest a breakup, did you need to affirm that breakup, or did it kind of just happen? It was like autopilot thoughts just came up. You identified with those thoughts. You got super insecure, super anxious. Your mind started going this way and that way, and waiting for the other shoe to drop, judging everything that they were doing, or reacting towards everything that they were doing, and getting worked up about what they weren't doing and how they were treating you differently, but things were so good and now they're not good, and what changed, and are they talking to someone else? Well, maybe they're an avoidant. Maybe I'm an anxious. Why am I so anxious? Everything was just so good. Did all of that just naturally happen? Yes. Okay. So you didn't have to do any techniques for that person to leave you. All you did was identify with the mind, identify with the stories, the beliefs, the thoughts, the feelings, identify with the circumstances of what that person was doing or not doing. That's all you did. Now, think about when that person first came into your life. You weren't identified to any of those stories, right? Because nothing had happened yet. Those stories were lingering around in the background, but they weren't in the forefront yet. Which is why you experience at first like them coming in really hot, really loving, taking you out on dates, or, you guys starting to build a connection, until one day you're like, wow, I really like this person. And then all of a sudden all this gunk comes up and you start making different stories. It's because that stuff was still in the background. You just currently at that moment wasn't identifying with it. And as soon as it appeared in the forefront of your mind, you identified with it. So all we have to do is knock it all out and stop identifying with it. And then when it tries to come up again, because it usually does, let it be there. Don't identify with it again. And then it will go back. You'll get so good at it to where even when it comes up, it becomes laughable. You just acknowledge it like, whoa, 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 I don't think like that anymore. That's not who I am. And then you just carry on with your day. And it literally is like a cloud in the sky that just passes by. But no, you don't have to do any techniques to get anything to change in your 3D. All you have to do is stop identifying with all of it. What do I think about when you cry and feel? Let emotions come up. There's nothing wrong with that. That's human. That's part of the human experience, any emotion. But we don't have to identify with the emotion. Like, in this manifestation community, the one thing that I've never liked is how they convey messages. And I don't think it's intentional, but a lot of people convey messages to suppress your emotions, or like emotions are bad and will screw everything up. That's not true at all. The more you suppress, the more you're putting awareness and attention on it, trying to control it. So yes, that will create more emotions and more things for you to be emotional about. But if you just let it be there and you just process it and cry when you need to cry and then move on with your day, then you'll notice that things just move by. The emotions don't come up as much. I'm trying to go back up in order, guys. I hate it when my period comes. That's actually, so Eckhart Tolle, definitely read The Power of Now, but he talks about it, and he pretty much says, like, women have an advantage. I used to hate it too, because I'm like, men got it so much easier, they can maintain the state, da-da-da-da. No, women have an advantage because all of the old comes up and clears out a lot easier, especially when you're able to just be present and hold space for it. When you can look at your period, for one, you're going to have the thoughts like, oh man, it's going to be such a bad time. And I'm probably, I already got really bad cramps and I feel different emotions. When you identify with them, yes, things get even worse, right? But when you are just present and you continue to, all right, I feel that feeling, I'm going to be present. Let it be. I feel that sensation, I'm just going to be present. Let it be. It's smooth sailing for the most part. And it does feel like a release. I feel like it's an advantage that women have. So definitely read that book and check it out. He goes more in depth on it, but it is an advantage that women have. You got to change your perception around it. Can you change how your SP treats you? Yeah, you have to stop identifying with the story that they treat you some way that you don't like. No matter what they are doing, you can speak up and say what you want, but you'll find when you're present, you don't even feel the need to speak up. But the only reason why they are showing up that way is because you are identified with a story. So, like, if if they don't hold the door open for you, maybe that's something that to you is not being treated right, or they don't like take you out on dates or whatever. They don't make time for you. That's an example, right? So if those are the things that you say that's them not treating you right, every time that they do that thing, we're not going to sit there, stare at it, and identify with, well, this asshole, they can't even open the door for me, and they never take me out on dates, and like, what the fuck, and they used to, like, are they not attracted to me anymore, or like, why don't they make any time for me, or am I too fat for them now, like, do they not appreciate me, and I do this for them, and I clean the house, and we got to stop with all of that, because that is reacting to what they aren't doing and what they are doing, right? We have to stop giving into the mind chatter, which then creates the emotions of this anger and resentment, and stories, more reinforcing the stories that they don't treat me right, or reinforcing the story, I could probably do better. They're lucky I love them because I don't deserve this. In like that mentality. So again, anytime that they do something that is not what you prefer, yes, feel whatever you need to feel in those moments, but take your attention off of it and put it on the present. Put it on your breath instead of reacting. All right? And then that's how you can get things to change with them, because you'll no longer need it to change. You'll be feeling whole and complete on your own just by being present. Again, they are a mirror to you. So if you are seeing something that you don't like, that means it's existing within you on some form or fashion. It means you are identifying with something. And that's why it continues to perpetuate and be projected out. Yeah, so you acknowledge your feelings, cried, and then you felt better after. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. That's all you got to do. Yeah. That's why you felt better, because it just needed to come out. You didn't hold on to it. You didn't make a story around it. Oh my God, I'm crying. And because I'm crying, this is going to mess everything up. You didn't do that. You just cried. You just let it out. And then, like you said, you moved on. And that's why you felt better. Manifestation is actually super simple, guys. There's a lot of rules out there that you got to do it this way, that way, this way, that way, this technique, and you got to repeat affirmations, and you got to reprogram the subconscious mind, and a lot of limitations out there, and I bought into them too. I get it, guys. But the most simplest way is, in the most effortless way, is just by not identifying with thought, feeling, circumstances, and going into breath, body, surroundings. That's it. How simple is that? How simple is that? No effort. Oh, and also understanding you are the awareness of everything. The awareness behind it all. The space where everything exists in. Alrighty. Let's see if there's any more questions or anything, guys. But yeah, if you haven't grabbed the free mini course, definitely do that. It talks about all of this and really breaks down what awareness is. In the new one that I'm going to launch probably tomorrow, is I think my favorite one out of all of them, because it really goes into how you are the awareness behind everything and what that looks like. But I have some other mini courses on my website if you want to go check them out. Like I said, everything's under $35. Kept it super cheap because everyone deserves to have access to this information. Nope, you don't need to affirm. You don't need to affirm what you want to happen. Don't you know it? You don't need to affirm it. You know it, right? And a lot of times, too, from like what I've experienced from my own personal life is once I'm present, things happen that I couldn't even think or like affirm to happen as good as it happened. So like you're actually limiting yourself in some ways by trying to affirm and control how you want it to happen or like what it is that you want to experience. Again, awareness is all things. So of course awareness knows what you want more than what the human self you thinks that they can even have. It goes beyond all of that. Better than you could ever imagine, awareness provides, pretty much. So no, you don't need to affirm anything. You know it. Your awareness knows it. I'm kind of tired of techniques. Fuck yeah. I mean, I get it. They're exhausting. It's because techniques are all playing in the mind. And the mind is what made this mess to begin with. You are not your mind. So it makes sense why you feel exhausted. Because you're putting a lot of effort with you're taking awareness and trying to focus and control that awareness into a technique and tell it, you need to do this. Instead of just letting awareness be and you being at home, chilling with awareness as awareness, and letting everything just unfold how it's naturally supposed to in the most beautiful, effortless way ever. That's all awareness wants from you, is to let it lead. And we're so used to getting out there and doing and aiming towards things and you know, being a part of our mind that, you know, there's so much effort and it's unnecessary. Dexter, you rolling around, buddy? I appreciate how real you are. Yeah, I've lived it, guys. I came from the world of reprogramming, came from the world of self-concept. I taught that for a very long time because I thought that that was the truth. That's the knowledge that I had at that time. But then I went beyond that. I continued to learn. I continued to grow and expand in my own consciousness and realize we're none of it. You know, I got into non-duality practices and realizing we are one with everything, that, again, there is no separation. We are the source behind it all. And that's where my teachings really started to take a turn in the right direction and reach a point to where it is so dumbfounding how effortless and simple all of this actually is, and how natural and easy all of this is. And it's easy when you stop identifying. Your mind right now probably heard the word easy and was like, no, it's not. What the fuck, Lane? Like, it's not easy. This shit is hard. I've been working at this for months. That's the mind. Yeah, to the mind, this is hard because it's putting in a lot of freaking effort. But the mind will do whatever it needs to do. Like the characters that we embody will do whatever it needs to do to stay alive. Because when we're in our present moment, when we go home to awareness of who we truly are, those characters don't exist. They don't stay alive. That's why they're constantly trying to feed you. You see what they did? Oh, they like that person's picture. They moved on without you. You haven't heard from. It's constantly trying to feed you things to steal your energy because it lives off of that. But once you stop feeding it, at first the thoughts might get a little bit louder, but then, because obviously it gets more hungry. Well, don't we all get a little bit more hangry and a little bit more loud when we haven't eaten? But then after a point, it reaches, like when you go into, I'm just using this as an example, but when you go into like the ketogenic state, the mind gets quiet, the body gets quiet, you need less food. You know, when you're fasting and stuff, it needs less. You don't have to give it as much attention. You're not constantly eating. The same kind of goes on with your mind. At first, it might throw a little bit of a fit because it's not used to not having a consumption of your energy, of your power. But then it will get used to it and it will quiet down. It will calm down because you're home, right? You close the door on it. You're safe in your house. And the demons, the identifications, the characters are outside. And at any time, you can open the door and let them in. Not that you will want to, but you can, you know. They're not going to be perfect at this. Every once in a while, they're going to come knocking on the door and you're going to answer. And it's, you know, it's like someone trying to sell you something. And sometimes you might buy, but then you might return it. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm winging it here, guys. We're just coming up with random stuff to, like, analogies of what goes on. In the mind. But we are not our mind. We are not our thoughts. We're not any of it. We're awareness. Is it to believe in something? Hold on, I don't know your full question. I already answered the how to be in the state of love itself. Yeah, if someone's unresponsive, then yeah, stop texting them. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to assume that you're good, just let it be there. You know, you don't have to lie to yourself. You can acknowledge, all right, well, he's unresponsive. Cool, that's not what I want. I'm going to focus on me, though. I'm going to be present. I'm not going to give any meaning to what they're doing or not doing. I'm not going to assign that, well, you know, they're ghosting me. They're an avoidant. I'm not going to give any of those labels or identifications. Not going to do any of that. I'm just going to be present. At some point, they'll reach out to me. In the meantime, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do things that make me feel good. I'm going to, again, be present. I'm going to make myself a really good dinner. Or I'm going to go hang out with friends and have a few good laughs. I'm going to clean my house because that makes me feel good. I'm going to take a long bath with bubbles and light candles or whatever shit. Right? And do things that make you feel good. But it's not just the doing. It's I'm going to stop letting my thoughts control me. I'm just going to let them be there. Whatever thoughts need to come up, I'm going to let them come up. And I'm just going to be present. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole of these thoughts. That's the most important thing. But I want him to come back. Well, of course you do. And the way to get him back is stop trying to get him back. Stop needing him to come back. It could be a preference. I prefer that he comes back. But again, be present. Focus on you. That's how you get them back. Because is that not what you would be doing once they're back? In a happy, healthy relationship, is that not what you would be doing? Yeah. You'd be living your life. You'd be laughing. You'd be smiling. You'd be happy. You'd be doing you. You'd be focused on other things, right? You would just be enjoying yourself. That's the state of the wish fulfilled. You do that by being present, focusing on your breath anytime thoughts come up that aren't favorable. Anytime that tries to pull you into all the reasons why you're not going to get what you want, or all the reasons why he's not back yet, all the reasons why you're still waiting, all the reasons why there's more for you to do, more that you need to change, more that you need to fix, more that you need to forgive about him and yourself. Yeah, living in the end is the state of neutrality, right? Again, if you've been in a relationship for 5 years, would you not be in the state of neutrality? You know that person's there. They ain't leaving. What happened? Oh. All right, guys. My phone's about to die, so I'm about to hop out. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And don't forget, you got this. Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And don't forget, you got this.